the prayer, Pastor's prayer this morning, I certainly am aware it's Mother's Day, but also I recognize that it can bring to a lot of us different emotions and feelings, such as Father's Day as well. Excuse me. For many of us, it's a happy occasion, especially we have family around us, but others don't have that family, doesn't have that support. Maybe mothers are not with us anymore. And I think about some powerful mothers that used to sit in these pews. They're no longer with us as well. I miss them terribly. I miss their love. I miss their faith. I miss their encouragement. And so I recognize that today may not be easy for all of us. It has its highs and its lows. But I just want to thank all you moms for coming. And I believe that God has a word for us today.
Amen.
You hear that?
Yes.
I believe God has a word for us. Recently, I was taking the trash out to the garbage bin just outside of my office, and overheard a little girl who was in the park. She was over on the play set right behind us. And she was standing at the top of the little yellow slide, if you've seen that before. And she was working so hard to get her mother's attention, who was sitting on the park bench on her phone, not paying attention to her child. And the little girl was almost screaming at the top of her voice, "Mama, watch me, watch me, look at me, Mama," over and over. We're all children once. Sometimes we forget that, and we all know what it's like as a child wanting to be seen by our moms and our dads. Look at me, look what I'm doing. I'm so excited to be a granddad, as many of you know what that's like as well, to sort of live Isaac's childhood all through him again, because we're raising, it looks like a little Isaac, which is a good thing. And I'm excited to those first, you know. Look what I can do, Pop-Pops. Yeah, I love you to death. There are many in our world today, maybe some of you, some moms, some dads, especially moms, who wonder if anyone ever sees you. Now, I've been told, I don't know, but I've been told that there comes a point in a mom's life when they begin to think they're invisible. There was a nice little article written by a mother called Nicole Johnson. She wrote a beautiful little article, and it's entitled, "I Am Invisible." I wanted to share just a couple of paragraphs. This is Nicole's word, and I quote, "It all began to make sense," she says. "The blank stares, the lack of responses, the way one of the kids will walk into the room while I'm on the phone and ask if I can take her to the store. And inside I'm thinking, if not screaming, can't you see I'm on the phone? Can I get a witness in the house, Mother?" Obviously not. No one can see if I'm on the phone, or if I'm cooking, or I'm sweeping the floor, or even standing on my head in the corner of the house, because no one can see me at all. I'm invisible. Some days I'm only a pair of hands and nothing more. Can you fix this, Mom? Can you tie this? Can you open this? Some days I'm not even a pair of hands. I'm not even a human being. I'm a clock. What time is it? Sometimes I'm a satellite guide to answer, what number is the Disney Channel? Most of the time I'm an Uber driver. Pick me up at 5:30 and don't be late, please. Oh, can you take so-and-so home? I was certain that these were the hands that once held books and the eyes that studied history, and the mind that graduated, but now they had all disappeared into diapers and peanut butter, never to be seen again. She's going, she's going, she's gone. I'm invisible. I don't know if you feel like that as a mom or if you ever did, but I'm pretty sure that the woman in our text, Hagar, this morning, felt just like that. I'm invisible. I'm gone. My world is coming to an end. Nobody sees me. Wow. In the story, we meet the mother, Hagar, of course. She's an immigrant from Egypt who really has no sense of belonging. She's running away from a household where her body has been used to produce offspring for an infertile couple. The couple who was told by God to wait. He would supply the promise. But you know us, right? Hagar is mistreated. She is trapped in a system, and she feels as though she is invisible and has no voice. She has no rights. She has no dignity. She has no freedom, no choice, and she has had enough, because it is very hard to be a nobody with a no name. We know her name, but you wouldn't have got that from Abraham or Sarah. They referred to her as the maid, or the Egyptian, or the servant girl. Sarah and Abraham probably didn't even really see Hagar as a person, more as property that would serve a purpose. They may have not even noticed that she had actually run away. Hagar runs away. Where to? Well, it would seem to me that Hagar doesn't know what she really wants, even where she's going. The angel asked that question. She knows what she doesn't want. She doesn't want to be treated as if she's invisible in her own home. She doesn't want to be a non-person. She wants respect. She wants love. And she wants dignity as a human being. She really doesn't realize what her greatest need is. That is, until she meets the God who meets that need. And she names him. Did you hear that? El Roy. You know what that means? The God who sees. I wonder what name you would give God if you had the chance to name him. Have you thought about it? Give it a shot. What would be a name? I mean, the God who loves me. The God who comforts me. The God who guides me. The God who forgives me. The God who heals me. The God of a second chance. You probably have your favorite. Whatever you choose would actually say as much about your need as it would about the character of God. Listen, because it is through our need that we experience God in the most deepest and profound way.
Amen.
God, can you see me? Can you see me? Hagar might have felt insignificant and misunderstood, but really, actually, she's a very significant person in the biblical narrative. Hagar is recorded to have this longest conversation of any woman and almost any man in the entire Old Testament. Hagar, the Egyptian maid, is the only person in the Bible who gives God a name. Up to this point, God gave himself his own name. He introduced himself to the children of Israel as I am, or Elohim, the creator, Yahweh, the covenant maker, or El Shaddai, the Almighty. Now these names are majestic names. They're like cosmic names. They're names that are way out there, but Hagar doesn't need a vast, majestic, way out there kind of a God. What Hagar needs is a God that sees her. What Hagar needs is an intimate, personal God that meets her at the point of her need. And here is what Hagar says about this God. I have now seen the God who sees me. I don't know what that could do for you this morning, but that statement feeds something very deep in my spirit and in my soul. I have thought for a long time about that statement and why it's so important. It's one of my wife's favorite statements. If you look at her study Bible that she uses to study, that has highlighting and marks and bookmarks and gum stuck on pages, and you'll find that name underlined, the God who sees me. For in the most difficult time in her life of infertility, God saw her. God came to her. God met her. And she saw the God that saw her over and over. I've thought about this for what difference does that make as a mom? What difference does it make as a dad, as a man, as a woman, as a young person? What difference does it make in my life or in your life to know that there is a God who sees me? Listen very carefully, because I believe God has a word for someone, and I don't know who this is going to touch. But listen carefully. God sees you. When I was 10 years old, I really wanted to be seen. Much like the little girl on the playground that said, Mom, see, watch. I was 10 years old, and I had been selected by a group of coaches in the little baseball league I was playing for in Satsuma, Alabama. 10 years old, I'd get on my bicycle and ride half a mile. That's back in the day when you could do that. That was back in the day when parents said, "It's the sun is up, bye." You'd come in at dark, ready to eat. You can't do that, but in these days, but in those days, I'd get on my bike, 10 years old, I would drive to the park, we would practice, we would play ball, and I was selected that year by a group of coaches to be on the all-star team. You know what I'm talking about, for sure. We had an all-star game and we won. As a matter of fact, the last out of the ball game, there was a runner coming from second to third, and the ball was coming from the outfield. We needed to get the out so the run wouldn't score and we could win the game. And I caught the ball, got on my knees, and tagged him out. Yay! Thank you. The moms and dads in the stand erupted. I mean, they ran out on the field and they grabbed their children. There was one little boy whose parents wasn't there. He had his hat in his hand and his glove in his hand, and he was looking around. And I didn't think anybody saw me. We all want to be seen by somebody. I knew the feeling of loneliness. I know the feeling of not being seen. Those early years of growing up was difficult. I always hated being misunderstood. Don't you hate being misunderstood? I know hate's a hard word. Dislike being misunderstood. I want to believe and to know that there's someone out there that sees me, who knows me, that sees the inside, someone who understands. It wasn't until I was 25 years old that I discovered that God sees my secret world. All the hurts and the pain. God knows me. He knew me out on that field. He knew me when I was hiding in my room because my parents were fighting and I was afraid. God knows me and God sees me. And that one truth has radically changed my life.
Amen.
I read an article about child development. I figured since I'm going to be a granddad, I need to go back and brush up. Angie's not here, and I know none of this will get back to the other side of the family. Okay? Yeah. So I know I'm in a safe place. How in the world did we ever raise children and get it right? Because I talk to young parents nowadays, and if it's not on a TikTok video or some new something, you know, it's like the internet is, you know, I'll say something. Well, when you gonna give that boy cereal? You know, he's crying. He needs something other than milk. Give him some cereal. Well, Dad, I saw this TikTok video of this doctor that said he needed to be this certain. And I'm going, we stuck cereal in your mouth when you were 3-year-old. You choke it down and stick a bottle in your mouth. Suck it down, boy. How did we ever raise kids? Well, the author of the article said this: you don't really understand human nature unless you know why a child on a merry-go-round will wave at his or her parents every time the circle comes around, and why the parents always wave back. Try that test next time you go and you're around the merry-go-round. Why do we need to be seen? Why do we long for a God who sees, and what difference does it make to us? It makes all the difference in the world, because to be seen is to be significant and to know that you have roots. I love that. I guess that's why I love Psalm 139 so much, because the psalmist explodes in praise to a God that knew him before he was born. He said, before I formed you, the Lord speaking through the psalmist, I saw you. In the depths of your mother's womb, my eyes saw your unformed body. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God saw us before anyone else did. And listen, because I think this is going to make a difference in somebody's life today. God sees you where you are and what you're going through. And don't think somebody or nobody can know how you're feeling. To be seen is to be significant and to be safe. God's eyes are loving, and He knows how to lead His children into rest. To be seen is to be understood and to be encouraged. I guess that's why I love Psalm 23 so much. It tells us of the safety and encouragement of being seen by God. David, the psalmist, says, and you know the psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I shall not lack nothing. He makes me lay down in green pastures. Children, that's comfort, that's safety, that's security. God knows our fears because He leads us beside quiet waters. Happy Mother's Day. And mothers, thank you for being the leaders of the world.
Amen.
For the hand that rocks the cradle leads the world.
Amen.
Go in peace. May the peace of God go with you.
Chuck's waiting.
Yes.
The water's going to be turned on and turned back on until sometime tomorrow.
Yes,
Be aware.
Yes, we have what we think is a water leak in the hall. And want to thank these young ladies and their moms and grandmoms, significant others. That their moms, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much. Y'all can go ahead and do this. So, yes, if you've got some business here tomorrow, just go.
Ayan na po. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. God bless. Tapos na po. Bye. Thank you for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.
Ikaw ang liwanag sa madilim na daan. Ikaw ang siyang tanda ko sa aking kinabukasan. Ikaw ang bumabay sa aming pag-aaral. Kahit hirap sa buhay, ikaw ay nakaalala. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Kahit di ka nakikita, I always know your love for me. Handang tumulong sa mga nangangailangan. Sa iyong gabay kami ay may natutunan. Napakabuti ng inyong mga puso. Sa mga tulong nyo meron yung balik sa dulo. Laki ng aming pasasalamat. Laging dasalang malayo sa kahirapan. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo.
Sa bawat pagising mo pagtulog, sa katauhan namin ikaw ang humubog. Mga pangaral at salita mo sa amin ay tumatak. Tinuring mo kami sa mundo na isang anak. Di mo binabayaan sa oras ng kahirapan. Binusog tuwing may kagutuman na nararanasan. Ikaw ang tanging ina namin kanluman. Diyos na ang bahalang magbalik sa iyong kabaitan. Mga pangaral mo ang nagsilbi sa aming aral. Nagbigay lapis at papel, gumuguhit na parang anghel. Nagpatayo ng simbahan kung saan pwede naming masilungan. Maging takbuhan tuwing binabalot ng kadiliman. Salita ng Panginoon tunay na
Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo. Jesus Christ, love and care ministry. Napakabuti ng iyong puso sa pagtulong di nahuli. Sana hindi magbago ang iyong pagkatao. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang dahil lahat kami saludo.